so we need y'all. I can't say it behind the pulpit. We need y'all to contact our minds. Make sure that we take care of the children.
I recently retired after 40 years. As last year, I don't know what I said, but obviously it was enough to get me this job.
We gather to practice love. Therefore, let us enter into his gates with thanksgiving.
In a world filled with hatred and indifference, you give us the grace and strength to be instruments of your peace.
As mayor, I pledge to uphold these values and work with all of you to ensure that Summit is a place where increased opportunity, respect, and justice are available to all.
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
We have more than enough to bless those who do not have enough, and enough to be agents of justice, mercy, and peace.
The Fountain Baptist Church is making a donation to the Children's Defense Fund. So that it can continue to do the work that it has done for so many years.
On the river, I stand.
And we are so stigmatized, the social, emotional wellness issues in our own community, that we can't talk about it, and yet we want to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Come here for a second. I want to teach you something. You want to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. and not talk about social emotional wellness among young people in your community? You want to talk about a young 13-year-old Martin Luther King who had already tried to commit suicide twice by the time he was 13 years old? You want to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. who suffered with depression and melancholy that caused him to have the kind of empathy that he would engage in nonviolent direct action on behalf of people? You want to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. and not talk about depression and degradation and social emotional wellness in our community? You don't want to have a real conversation. Perspective calls me into community as a Christian, Starsky Wilson, and calls my community into conversation with the Baha'i, with the Sikh, with the Muslim, with the Jew, so that we can all come to a greater understanding, because God was not Jewish, and God is not Christian, and God is not Sikh, and God is not Baha'i. Somebody told me I was coming to an interfaith service, because God is bigger than me. The transcendent gives me perspective. I'm coming back here, Summit. I'm not coming back as a pastor next year. That job's gonna be filled for another 40 years. But I'm coming back to Summit, and I'm looking for the dashboard. And I won't have to come into your church, and I won't have to come into your synagogue, and I won't have to come into your mosque. I will know if it's beloved community if I stop on the turnpike, because there are children who sing and dance like nobody's watching.
Gather with the fervency of a father, with the moral certitude of a mother, and the unmasked and uncompromising unity of all being the children of a God greater than our present failures or our finite visions, but one of the infinite hope who commands our hearts and minds to declare tonight for the children and with the children, indeed, we shall overcome.
We shall